Hello, this is Nanagoji here, and welcome to another video where this time I'll be reviewing every era of Godzilla, starting with the Showa. I'm gonna talk about each film in its own way, starting with the first film. The first film is a masterpiece. It's a grand masterpiece. I highly recommend you check this film, and I do. Not really. And this film is not overrated in any opinion. I don't think it's overrated. Yeah, I do get annoyed that it's talked about a lot. And in my opinion, it's probably not. There's probably two more films I can think of that are better than this film, but we'll get to those. We'll get to those. And those films are amazing. But this film brings back is a true classic. I highly recommend this film. With the dark, serious tone, it's so freaking dark. There are a lot of dark moments in this. Like even the beginning movie starts out pretty dark, killing fishermen, based off the actual Lucky Day fishermen, where people actually die. But I do like this film very much. This is honestly a true classic and defines what the formula will soon be. And I still remember like the dark moments, like when the mother's holding her children, saying that they're gonna die soon. Like this Godzilla is a pure evil and is a force of destruction. And man, they show it. They use Godzilla as a bomb because he is the bomb. But I love this fucking film. 10 out of 10. Next film on the list is Godzilla Reigns Again. Very underrated film. I am sorry for people who hate this film. I don't know why you hate this film. They say it's the worst Godzilla film ever made. I disagree. I strongly disagree with people on that. It is not the worst Godzilla film ever made. There are a lot of Godzilla films that are worse than this. But this one is a pretty good follow-up, but I will agree it is a little bit of a letdown, but not too much of a letdown between the last film. I wouldn't say it's that big of a letdown. Would it be I wouldn't say it's that big of a letdown from the last film. But I have to say, it is automatically. And it also introduced two monsters fighting each other, like giant monsters, who will become the formula between films yet to come. And in my opinion, this is a very underrated film. And go to my rant on Godzilla's Reigns Again versus Godzilla's Revenge. I go more into detail why I love this film. I don't think this is the worst Godzilla film ever made because it is not. It really is not. With that out of the way, I give this film it'd probably be like a 5.5 out of 10. Actually, 6 out of 10, I guess. It's not that bad. Actually, not 5 out of 10 seems about right. It's an average film. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's far from the worst. Next is King Kong vs. Godzilla, which oh my god, this film is so goddamn cheesy, and I love the cheese. Like this, it goes cheesy off the walls. This is balls off the walls insanity. Oh my god, this film is so goddamn cheesy, and the fights Besides the first one when they just like stand there. And Godzilla just breathes his time breath and Kong throws a rock and then Godzilla breathes his time breath. They just stand there. But the second fight, the final battle, is actually pretty good. It's pretty epic and city destruction because this rampage, which isn't that much. All he does is destroy a couple tanks at a train. But he doesn't have any scene. Kong gets most of the time than Godzilla, but yeah. But this and the fight is amazing, and the characters I've seen the Japanese version, and compared to the American version, I would agree the Japanese version is a lot better. Like there are so many things taken out from the American version and that wasn't put in the Japanese version. Why did it decide? Why couldn't they just do a redub of the Japanese version instead of like editing stuff out? That bothers me. I don't know why I did that. Uh, mm. Anyway, with that out of the way, I give this film a 6 out of 10. It is a really cheesy movie, and I highly recommend it. It's one of the best Godzilla films ever made, and honestly, pretty good. Next film is Mothra vs. Godzilla. True classic. Gotta love Mothra. This is the first crossover, well, second crossover since King Kong vs. Godzilla. And they couldn't get Frankenstein, so why not get Mothra? And this is a true introduction to what become the formula. And I do gotta admit, this is not really a turning point. It does get there are little couple silly moments around in this film, but it still has. But this is still in the dark era of Godzilla film, so some of the lighter moments aren't really that light. Plus, still get G-rated blood. And I do love Mothra in this film. And the whole plot of them, you have to convince Mothra to come join you is really interesting and doesn't pit Mothra as a hero. She's more of an anti-hero in this film. And Godzilla, honestly, makes his time to shine. And this is honestly one of the best Godzilla suits ever. One of the probably in the top 10 for me. But it's one of the best Godzilla suits. And all the stuff that he does is pretty decent. And city rampages is pretty epic. This film is amazing. I highly recommend you watch this film. This is honestly one of the best films you will ever watch. And with that out of the way, I give this film a 8 out of 10. Pretty decent, pretty good. It's amazing. Next, Ghidorah the three-headed monster. Oh boy. Pretty good. Pretty good introduction to Ghidorah, and probably one of my favorite Ghidorahs. Well, only second to Ghidorah from the Monsterverse. Jesus, that Ghidorah is powerful. But this is also one of the most powerful Ghidorahs, in my opinion, because of all the shit he does, like, all the rampages. But you have to wait a while before you can get to Ghidorah. Meanwhile, Godzilla and Rodan fighting for no apparent reasons. Like, these two never met, so why are they fighting? I don't know. Just to get a monster fight. The human psych character, is really not the main focus. I think the main focus is mostly on the monsters, especially Ghidorah's, especially the build up to Ghidorah. Like it keeps on building up to what Ghidorah is going to be. And when you see him come out of the rock and explosions come out, you see Ghidorah in all his glory. And yeah. He's pretty epic. Ghidorah is honestly one of the best, has one of the best introductions, and he's so evil that he took the title for himself. It's not Godzilla vs. Ghidorah, it's Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. That's how evil he is. He took the goddamn title from himself. I had to quote Alex Haunted. But anyway, this film is pretty decent and pretty good. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Oh boy, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one. I'm not a big fan of Invasion of Astro Monsters. I'm really not. It's a big letdown from the previous films. And I know a lot of people are gonna hate me on this, but it's it's alright, but it's a pretty big letdown from the previous film. Yeah, Godzilla does bring some effect on Ghidorah, unlike the previous fight. But the previous fight had more build up and had more tense, and I felt more invested in that fight. This fight, they barely do anything. They don't really do anything. They just oh, they barely even make contact. It's basically Ghidorah shooting his beams, and then Godzilla just dancing the entire time. Like this, and the humans characters, besides from Nick Adams, Fuji, and the alien lady, a lot of them are not memorable. A lot of them are not memorable. They are pretty bland, really, really bland. But they're it really bores me. Like this film is one of the most boring film I've ever seen. It's so boring. Nothing happens. Like you can honestly just skip the next couple films and just skip all the way to the Detroit Monsters Mayday. The only thing you probably miss is, well, what's next? Anyway, finally, I'm sorry, people. I'm gonna have to give this a 4 out of 10. I know people are gonna hate me for that, but actually, you know what? I'll be nice. 5 out of 10. No, 4 out of 10. 4.5 out of 10. I'd be happy. That'd make you happy. Anyway, next. Oh boy, Ebba, Hole of the Deep. Ooh, Jesus. Ebba, Hole of the Deep. Ooh boy. This film is so generic. It is honestly one of the most boringest film I've ever seen. And the characters, there's way too many of them. You have barely any time to focus on these characters. I think this has been the trope of them being way too many human characters comes from. It starts with this film. Yeah, say what you want about the previous film, but at least the previous film you remember the character. You are able to recognize the characters. This film, I can't name a single. At least you can remember some of the names. This film, I can't remember a single one of the names. Who you? Your name's Dial. Who you? You're a bank robber. Who you? You're a guy searching for his brother. Who are you? It's like trying to find somebody in the middle of a crowd. And Ebba as a villain, he is pretty weak. He's a pretty lame villain. How am I supposed to be threatened by a fucking shrimp slash lobster hybrid? I know people said, I'm not even sure if it's a lobster or shrimp. How can you tell? Is this a shrimp or a lobster? Make up your mind. That's on. In Godzilla, oh my god, what did they do to the suit? I'm just convinced that someone was smoking. I'm pretty sure someone did something to the suit. Like, why does he look like that? Why does he look so high? Like, why? Eh, I wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend this film. This film is bad. It's terrible. I give it a 2 out of 2. 2 out of 10. It's just bad. The Red Bamboo characters, they're pretty not that any villains. The only characters I do like in this film was the bank robber and Dio. That's about it. But besides that, this film is pretty forgettable. That's Son of Godzilla, Son of Godzilla. The introduction to Minya, and this is where you can tell the Showa went into full gear, made for children. The introduction to Manila. Oh god. Every time Manila was on screen, I just raged at him. I wanted to choke Manila, wanted to grab my sniper rifle and shoot right and make it grow kaiju size and shoot him right in the head. Because every time I see Manila, I want him to die. It's so bad that they made me root for freaking Kamakuris and Kumanga to kill this little trope. I was actually hoping that Kamakuris is 8 freaking Manila. That's how bad I wanted this. And the characters, there's way too many of them. How am I supposed to recognize any of these characters if I can't remember the single one of their names? This movie is so bad. And not in a good way. Is it the worst Godzilla film? It's pretty close, but I wouldn't say it's worse. We'll get to that one when we get to that one. But this film is pretty boring. And not that much happens. I give this film 3 out of 10. Oh, the Showa Monsters. The finale of the Showa. Well, technically it's the finale, but it's kind of the finale. But due to it making so much money, they decided, hey, why don't we crack out a couple more of these films? But this film is so... But this film is so amazing. Like, the final battle is pretty memorable, and my opinions have changed on this film. I really do enjoy this film. Like, the characters are actually pretty memorable. I can actually remember some of their names. Not by much. They're hard to pronounce. And I actually care about the monster scenes. Even though they're on monitors, I do get annoyed by that, but at least you see some monsters. But I do gotta agree, there are some parts that can be boring, but once you get to the city destruction scene of Godzilla, Manda, Rodan, Martha destroying the city, that's pretty good. And then once you get to the final battle, oh my god, the final battle. It's amazing. Pure epicness. It's pure awesomeness. Anyway, I give this film 6.5 out of 10. Actually, you know what? 7 out of 10. I do love this film. Actually, you know what? 6.5 out of 10. It's a pretty good film, and I highly recommend you watch this film. That's oh boy, here we go. What do I have to say about Godzilla's Revenge? It hasn't been already said before. This is automatically the worst film of all time. The worst film of all time. I don't care if you say there's any other film worse than this. No, the human Ichigo is so goddamn annoying. It makes me root for the bullies, or what you can say are bullies, because they barely even bully him. What do they... No, think about it. What do they actually want him to do? They just want him to pull a prank. That's not bullying. Pulling a prank is not bullying. And they want him to pull a prank. That's all they want him to do. And then they'll probably leave him alone after that. And the monster fights, there are none. It's all stock footage. This is a shitty movie. This is a very shitty movie. And Manila is Manila. You are the most annoying thing in the world. Oh, you torture with us through another movie. And what does Godzilla do? He barely does nothing. Yeah, you can say there was stock footage, but he's barely in the movie. It's screwing stock footage. He's literally only here for 2 minutes and 35 seconds. He's not in this movie that much. Yikes. You know how sad that it. This film is bad. I don't recommend you watch this film. 0 out of 10. Doesn't deserve any stars. Boo. This film can go to hell. That's. Fuck. That's what was the door. I fucking despise this film. I fucking despise it. Oh my god, I don't know why people love this film and say it's one of the best films out there. It is not one of the best films out there. This is a big letdown from the previous film. Oh my god, this film gives me a fucking headache. This film is so bad. I don't recommend you watch this film. I don't recommend you watch this film. This film and the Kenny in this character is so annoying. And the human characters are so annoying. It makes me frustrated on top of my head. It makes me frustrated on top of my head. This film is so boring, bland. Human characters forgettable. My god. It is so bad. Just skip this film. You're not gonna miss much. Just skip it. You're not gonna miss much with this film. It's pretty forgettable, pretty boring. You're not gonna miss much. And that's. I give this film a 0.5 out of 10. Oh, Godzilla vs. Guy again. I don't know what to say about this film, but I do kind of like the human characters a little bit. There's not I do like the human characters a little bit more than the previous film. Not by much. They're a lot more memorable than the previous film. But the story is pretty bland. Like, the aliens, I actually do kind of like. It's them being cheesy cockroaches, and they do have a good plan to take over the world. Stupid enough, it's ruled by monsters. Even if you killed Anguirus and Godzilla, you still got a planet full of monsters. And the entire world, and I'm pretty sure they'll throw a nuke on you. As crazy as that plan is. Anyway, I do love this film, so but it is pretty boring, so I'll probably give it a 4 out of 10. It's not that good. It's not. I'll probably skip this film. You can probably skip the next film too, because these films are pretty forgettable. That's Godzilla vs. Megalon. How we gone so far? This is automatically the point of the Godzilla. Yes, it's got Gigan, Jaguar, and Megalon. But I do love Gigan and Jaguar. They are pretty enjoyable. Especially Jaguar. Jaguar design is pretty cheesy. This film should be called Jaguar vs. Megalon because Jaguar is in the film more than Godzilla. Godzilla doesn't show up until the very end. Like near the halfway point. Anyway, do I love this film? And not really. There's not that many characters. There's literally only like what, five. There's literally like only 5 characters in this film. I'm not kidding. There's only like 5 characters in this film that you can remember. Maybe even 6 characters that have lines. Like, wait, the kid, the 2 guy, the scientist, Dr. Go, his friend, cousin, brother, boyfriend. I don't know. The evil guys, the Utopian, those are the only characters I can remember. But besides them, this film is pretty forgettable. I do love the monster fight, though. Don't get me wrong. The monster fight is probably the best it's ever been. It's probably the best fight you ever seen. It's honestly pretty good. I highly recommend this monster fight. It's probably one of the best fights out there. But with that out of the way, I'll probably give this film 4 out of 10. Ooh, Godzilla wasn't it Godzilla? Oh boy, now he's skipping it full gear. This film is amazing. I highly recommend this film. This film is, it's pure perfection. I love all the Godzilla films. They are pretty good. This film is honestly, for the 20th anniversary film, they decided to cut the bullshit because of 4 duds in a row. They decided, you know what? Let's make something epic. Let's make something like Mecha Godzilla. And this is the rivalry. When have you ever seen like a robot doppelganger? Not really mechanic arm, but this is the rivalry. This is the rivalry. This is the rivalry, and this is honestly one of the best films out there. I highly recommend it. It is honestly the best film out there. What else can be said about this film? I give this film 8 out of 10. And Mechagodzilla is epic. And the human characters are pretty good. 8 out of 10. That's Tale of Mechagodzilla. A good way to end the show. It ends pretty fitting. Every characters you remember, and this film was pretty dark. Granted, it's not the blood like the last film, like blood fighting at Godzilla's neck, but does have some dark moments. Like cuts, and it's also the only film with nudity in it. Yeah, I just love the fact that it's the only Godzilla film. Well, particularly the first Godzilla film had nudity, and a couple others. Anyway, I do agree. This is the best Godzilla film out there. And what do I give it? 6.5. Overall, the show ever, there are a lot of weak ones, but once you get to the good stuff, it is pretty good. I do gotta agree with Chris on this. The show is pretty weak overall, but with that out of the way, I do have a soft spot from Showa because I do remember watching these films a lot when I was little. So it's not I would say it is probably the weakest ever, in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some good ones, like Godzilla 1954, Godzilla Reigns Again, King Kong vs. Godzilla, Mothra vs. Godzilla, Ghidorah, Three-Headed Monsters, Terror, Mechagodzilla, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. and Destroy All Monsters. Well, half of them are good, but there are a lot of duds, and I recommend you just watch like 8 of these films, and then you'll be fine. You don't need to watch like all these films. You can probably skip like Invasion of the Astro Monsters. You can probably skip Ever Hold the Deep. Maybe maybe watch Son of Godzilla if you want to see Manila and want to torture yourself in Manila. Most of these films are pretty forgettable. Anyway, I'll see you next for the Heisei review. Bye.